Welcome to the franchise NET. I'm joined by my guest Jay here, who is going to talk to me about a lot of stuff that we have going on into the WWE. Jay, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I feel great. It's a great night to be here. Talk about some wrestling, talk about some
Yeah,
sports.
I mean, we love wrestling, so that's why we're here. First off, first thing first, who should win the Elimination Chamber? It's coming up. We already have Logan Paul beating Rey Mysterio to qualify. Drew McIntyre winning his triple threat match with L.A. Knight. And who else did he fight? L.A. Knight and Jimmy Uso.
Jimmy Uso,
Uh,
yep. Big Jim.
we have CM Punk beating Sami Zayn and John entering himself into the Elimination Chamber. Um, we had a little talk before we started this. Who we thought would win the chamber? We both agreed that it would be CM Punk.
hmm
What do we do with those other guys though? What do we do with Drew McIntyre? What do we do with Seth Rollins, who probably beats Finn Balor? What do we do with John?
Well, we gotta start up another feud between Drew and Seth. That or
Really?
gets that or probably get Seth into a match where the or Drew, sorry, into a match for the World Heavyweight Championship.
You know, I wouldn't be mad if we had Roman versus Drew again at Mania.
But I wouldn't, to be honest, that I wouldn't be mad at that either. You know.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I think it goes to Drew. I think Drew should be the one to eliminate Roman.
I think so. I agree. I think so.
I think Drew eliminates Roman and Seth. I think the plan that they have that it's going around the internet with CM Punk versus the triple threat with Punk, Reigns, and Rollins. I think that should be Drew, Rollins, and Reigns.
I believe so too. We had our fair share of Punk and Drew, or Punk and
You cut out a
Rollins.
little bit for me, bro.
Oh, sorry. Well,
No,
we
you
had our
good.
fair share of Punk and Drew and Drew and Rollins.
Yeah.
I want to see more of Drew and Reigns, only
hmm
because of what happened that spiraled Drew's career
Yeah.
into what it is now.
And it's very refreshing. It is very refreshing. We have
Yep.
already seen Seth. We've already seen Roman versus Seth. We've seen Drew versus Seth. I think the most we saw Drew versus Punk, Seth versus Punk. I think the most refreshing thing would be a feud between either Roman and Drew, Roman and Punk. Honestly, I know nobody's talking about this. I'd be completely fine with an actually well built story between Roman and John.
hmm I wouldn't even be mad at that either.
I,
We
I
had
wouldn't be mad. Look, I think that the stories that they told in 21 and in 17 were okay. I think this you have a John on the cusp of wanting that win. You have a Roman Reigns who's been facing losses. He's coming off of a quote unquote injury. I
mhm.
feel like this is the perfect time to set up John versus Roman at Mania.
I think so too. To
But
be
like
honest.
I think it could happen. I wouldn't be mad if John's last Mania was against Roman Reigns.
To be fair, that wouldn't even like make me angry because
It would make me angry.
we haven't seen much of Randy, or and we already know if Punk was to
Yeah.
win the chamber, he's going against Cody. So I wouldn't be mad at that idea.
I think it's refreshing if that happens, but I do think that the what should happen is Drew versus Seth versus Roman, or Drew versus Roman. Drew and Roman have to fight each other. I mean, there's no point in Drew going on his rampage and entourage of taking out Jay and Sammy and all these other guys because he's upset at the bloodline and he just never gets to Roman. I
Yep.
think I wouldn't be mind if they start off the match.
I wouldn't mind that either. To be honest, I even think Drew should win just because of all this. Because
Really?
I think so because there's been a
Oh,
lot of
you're
talk
breaking up a
about
little bit.
I don't know what's going on with my mic today.
There you go. There
So
you go. You're fine. We're fine right now. You're fine right now.
I think that Drew should win against Roman and Seth
Wow.
at WrestleMania only because you know Roman was the reason why Drew's acting like he is today. He's the
Yeah.
reason why what Jimmy calls it Drew McIntyre. You know, so I think he should finally get his revenge. There's no bloodline to stop him. It's
yeah.
only Seth in the way, and he has beat Seth before. I think it's only right that he wins, gets his redemption back, and you could probably even set him up against someone for the World Heavyweight Championship or somewhere on the way there. Clear his system out, get rid of that bloodline esque out of him, make him into the Drew we saw at whoever won the Royal Rumble in 2020. Get WWE champion.
I wouldn't be super mad at Drew winning. I think the issue is that you can tell a much better story with CM Punk.
True, true.
I think that's the only. I think the biggest issue with Drew McIntyre winning is that you can tell a much better story with CM Punk because they've already had those promos, they've already had the history, they already have the last Royal Rumble, and instead of it being CM Punk and Cody Rhodes both chasing Roman, it's now CM Punk chasing Cody Rhodes,
Mm,
just how Cody Rhodes said it on the promo at Atlanta. So I feel like that the best story you can tell in terms of who should win Elimination Chamber is CM Punk. He has the history with Cody. He has the promos with Cody. I
yep,
think it's the best story you can tell top to bottom with anybody else in that chamber,
I agree.
besides if Randy shows up last minute.
Most definitely, because we've already seen the parallels between CM Punk and Cody.
Yeah.
They're almost similar. You know, they both had what Punk said in that promo he had before the Royal Rumble. They both had that championship before. Punk had it for
Yeah.
434 days. Cody's had it for almost a year now. And all of the fame, all of the glory, all of the TV time is starting to get to them. It's starting to get to Cody. And I wouldn't
Yeah.
be mad at a heel turn. You know, a heel turn for Cody would definitely be great. We've already heard what Punk said about that championship, what it can do to you. And I want to see what happens if Punk wins and Cody turns heel. I want to see what it would do to him. Maybe
I
turn heel along the
think
way, but
that that huh. I think Cody turning heel on Punk is a good idea.
mhm, I agree. You could definitely have, to be honest, Cody as a heel probably would get much better matches than he had when he was champion after he faced Roman. You know,
You think it's you? Okay, okay. I just had a crazy idea,
hmm
but I'm gonna say it.
lay it on me.
Do you think that Cody? Do you think that Cody and Punk? There, this the end of their match. You're near the end, and CM Punk has the upper hand on Cody. You hear Randy Orton's music from the back, and Randy comes out. CM Punk looks at the entrance ramp. Randy comes out. Cody capitalizes off the distraction. He wins the match, and him and Randy attack CM Punk, forming a new alliance. I think that would be. I think I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. That's just me. That's just me. I know
I
you
wouldn't.
probably like, ew,
That that
that's me.
I can see that. I can see the ideas. Let me give you a take on my opinion on what I
Okay.
think might happen.
How you would like switch that? Okay. Okay.
So end of the match, uh, Cody goes for a crossroads. Punk counters. GTS, and that
Mm.
was the probably third or second GTS of the night. One, two, three. Punk's the new champion.
Okay.
Waits for Cody to get up, shakes his hand, goes to shake his hand, just like he did for Sammy. He gave him respect. He even said that he was levels above Sammy, and he still showed him
Yeah.
respect for how much of a competitor he was. Does the same with Cody.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. Hold on. I don't
Oh,
want to miss that. I don't want to miss that. I don't want to miss that. Okay.
he makes a he gives a handshake to Cody.
Yeah.
Puts his hand out. Cody shakes his hand. Punk goes to walk away. Cody hits him with a crossroads.
Yeah.
Heel Cody shocks everyone in the stadium. Then you have him leave, and he leaves. Punk is still in the ring by
Okay.
himself, left to pretty much left to just sit there and just take the pain that he just endured and have him realize what the hell did Cody just do to me. You know, next night, Raw after WrestleMania, you have Cody come out,
Mhm.
explain what he did.
Okay.
Punk comes out to confront him.
All right.
Then you hear Randy's music hit. And that's when that idea you just gave of Randy and Cody coming in, you have Randy come out, you have him shake Cody's hand, you have him shake Punk's hand or whatever it is he does with Punk, RKO's Punk, and Cody and Randy leave together. Almost like a little legacy kind of thing. You have them both paired up together.
Okay.
That's my take on it.
Okay. I'm not mad at it. Um, I think the question is, what do you do after?
To be honest, you could probably make it. uh probably a tag team match. To be honest, you could have where that favor kicks in from Paul Heyman or something,
Hmm.
or Punk gets a
So
partner.
okay, let's talk about that. What is the favor?
To be honest, um, if it
Did
wasn't
I
that,
just forgot about it? Like,
to be honest, I don't even know. It's already been what? It's been 5 months or something, 4 months since
yeah, like something
Survivor
like that.
Series. Yeah, and we haven't. To be honest,
November.
if I'm, yeah, like if,
Three, about three. Yeah.
yeah, so Punk and Heyman. If I'm being honest, I would think that favors about Roman,
You're
but
breaking up,
for that
breaking
to,
up, breaking up. You said Punk and
oh,
Heyman.
Punk and Heyman, so for that to happen with them, like that whole favor, I think it has to include Roman somehow, or that
Yeah,
whole
it
bloodline.
has to. There's no way. It has to include The Rock, and that's what I'm saying. Like, where is The Rock? Like, come
Yeah,
on,
we
bro. Like,
the last time we saw Rock like was the first night of Raw on Netflix, but he was just the people's champion. He
and then he
wasn't the
came out
final
on
boss.
NXT. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
bro, I don't gotta. I'm like, come on, bro. We can't have there be a favor. You can't have there be all that this stuff, and then all of a sudden, no, man, no, man. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like
like
it.
if that's the case, worst case scenario, which I still wouldn't be mad at, is if Punk or not Punk, Rollins faces Reigns at WrestleMania, and Punk asks Heyman for the favor of being in that match too. But I don't want that to happen because I want Punk to win the Chamber. So then again, I still don't know what that favor could be.
Um, could it be? I see. What I thought the favor was Rock entering 31 at the Rumble,
Hmm.
and it's Roman and Punk at the last one, and Rock eliminates Roman for Punk.
Hmm.
But favor, what could Paul Heyman have? I mean, I was gonna say something with Brock maybe, but no.
It could be something with, because when I think of it, it just thinks of the bloodline and Roman. I can't really think of anything else. But then again,
It would have to be something to do with The Rock's power.
probably
You would
something like
think.
that. Like it would have to be some kind of match booking or something. But then again, Punk's already in the chamber match, and he could potentially win it. So there's no more like being said there.
Yeah.
Or he could ask Heyman to bring someone else into the chamber, which could be an idea, but it might not be Roman because he's injured. But then again, I don't know who he would bring up.
Hmm.
Maybe it could be a title match opportunity if he doesn't win the chamber. Maybe it could be a title match opportunity he gets from Paul.
Oh, it could do with Jay.
Probably, to be honest, probably with Jay.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I mean, like, there's a lot of ways you could go with this. I don't know. I personally, I don't know what to do in terms of where do we go from here.
Hmm.
I don't really know where we go from the favor or whatnot. But I do like CM Punk winning the chamber. I do like CM Punk facing Cody at Mania. But with that being said, I don't like how this Mania is being built up to. And that gets me to our second topic of the night out of four, which is the weekly shows. I think the weekly shows do lack a lot of substance. I think we're seeing a lot of nothing happen. We're seeing a lot of missed opportunities with talent. SmackDown is 3 hours. Instead of us getting 3 hours of a lot of the more stars, we're getting
Yep.
3 hours of more Pretty Deadly and groups like that. And we have been clamoring for the Street Profits. And this is no hate towards Pretty Deadly because I think that they do have really good character work. But at the end of the day, they wouldn't be more. They're not more entertaining than the Street Profits. They're not as big of a draw as the Street Profits. They are more marketable than the Street Profits. I
Hmm.
think the Street Profits deserve, and they've put the Street Profits have put in much more work. They deserve uh, title shot before Pretty Deadly. They deserve title runs before Pretty Deadly. So I think you have a bunch of missed opportunities that you have on these weekly shows, especially if you're gonna make SmackDown 3 hours. Come on now.
I agree 100% because most of the time when I've been watching SmackDown these past couple of weeks, it's just been promo, match, commercial, back to the match, another promo, or just something in the jumbotron, another match, commercial, continue the match, and then that's like that was the main event
And
match
they
pretty
aren't
much.
quality. They are not quality at all.
Yeah, like one probably best match I've seen in the last like 2-3 weeks was Drew, Jimmy, and LA Knight for the qualifiers of the Chambers. That match was pretty good, just because you had some of the best draws. Well, I wouldn't say Jimmy's a good draw, but one of the good draws in the company going against each other. Still pretty good in ring performers, but I need more. I don't want to just watch them. I just don't want to watch the big names. I still want to see other people who are up and coming have great matches against
Bro,
other people.
where is Shinsuke Nakamura?
The last time I saw him was Royal Rumble. I haven't seen him at all.
Dude, okay, I get it. If you're gonna have this facade that the world titles are so prestigious they only need to be defended on PLEs, then sure. All right, let's just say that's the Triple H era thing.
Hmm.
What in the world are the mid card titles for? The mid card title should be at least defended every 2 weeks. That's not crazy to say. I think people should be clamoring, especially your NXT guys. If you have so many of these new guys, these young talent that we say we do, then why is Chelsea Green not defending her U.S. title every 2 weeks? Why is
Yep.
Shinsuke Nakamura on my screen? What was the point of taking the title off of LA Knight, who was actually defending the title more, if you're going to give it to Shinsuke Nakamura to not have a singles match since he's won the title? It's utterly ridiculous. I think if you're going to say, hey, these world titles are prestigious, these world titles mean something, then act like it. Don't just sit here and give us no title matches in between. Don't sit here and say, hey, these are our mid card titles and these are the workhorse titles, the IC. How is the Intercontinental Championship the workhorse title and Braun Breaker is begging Adam Pearce to defend the title? And even if you're going to say, hey, it's a part of the storyline, well, it has yet to be resolved. This quote unquote storyline has been going on for the past 3 months. It shouldn't be a repetitive thing where Braun Breaker has a stare down with a guy, he begs Adam Pearce for a match, he doesn't get the match until a month later. It's ridiculous. When is the match between Braun Breaker and AJ Styles going to happen? It should happen. The seed should be planted next week when AJ has his match against Dominic Mysterio. I want to see Braun Breaker interrupt.
I agree. I definitely
I want to
agree.
see him spear AJ Styles and get Dom the win.
Because to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, with WWE now, we're starting to get a little bit overcrowded with a lot of superstars. And don't get me wrong, that's great. I love that there's a lot of superstars, a diverse amount of women and men athletes that are coming in to prove themselves. And I humbly agree. But then again, you still have people coming in from other companies who are probably free agents now, who might even sign with WWE, and still we might not know what to do with them if they were to come in, you know? And with these mid card
Literally.
titles, huh?
Literally, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, like with these mid card titles, you have people like Braun Breaker, Shinsuke, Logan Paul, those type of guys, whatever, that can compete for those titles. But where are the opponents at? You could probably even have greater matches for those mid card titles than probably what Gunther has, if I'm being honest. You could have great matches at that. Like you have Penta who came in as a free agent, who could be one of the best performers right now for those mid card titles. You can put him against Braun Breaker. You could put him against Shinsuke. That would be a great match. But I need to see it. I want to see it on Raw. It could even be a match with even just a normal match, just a singles match without the title. It could even be that. But I
You're
want
breaking
to
up a
see.
little bit.
Oh, my bad. I,
You be Metro who?
you could put Penta against Shinsuke or Braun Breaker, those type of matches, and you can even put it even not even for the championship. You could just have it be a normal match with them. I want to see more of those matches where those champions in the mid card get more shine. Make that championship a little bit more, defined. Make it seem like, okay, I want to watch this match for the United States Championship. I don't want to just skip it or wait till the next match comes on, which is like the world title match or something. You want that title to be as good or almost as good as those top titles that you see now. You know?
Chad Gable.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say
exactly.
name. I'm gonna say my name right now. Chad Gable. He's so worried about getting American made those tag team belts. Chad Gable, when he was with Alpha Academy, he was worried about Alpha Academy getting gold too. But he wasn't buying off by himself as well. He
Hmm.
was worried about himself too. When
Hmm.
Chad Gable, when Chad Gable was in Alpha Academy, he didn't just care about Alpha Academy as a whole having gold. Yes, he cared, but he also cared about himself having gold.
Exactly.
So if you're Chad Gable and you're this leader, you're this mentor, you're this wrestling savant, then dang it, I need to be the example and lead by example. Let me go win some IC gold. And if he's a heel and he's gonna do it in a heelish way, hey, Creed brothers, you guys are failing. Let me show you how it's done. Go after Braun Breaker.
Exactly. Because
Like there's easy, and this is how you make the division stacked. So right there, you just planted seeds for a Chad Gable feud. You have Penta who's saying, "Hey, look, I'm tired of this. I'm not tired of having no competition. I'm tired of it. I've been beat Pete Dunne about 89 times since I've been debuted on the roster. Let me go after some gold. So now you have Chad Gable in the IC title scene. You have Penta in the IC title scene. Shoot, if Braun Breaker stared down at AJ, he attacks him like I said he did. Well, then you have AJ. You have so many guys who could be in this Intercontinental Championship scene. I don't get why they aren't fighting for it. The IC belt and the US title should be one of the most prestigious titles in the business right now. They should
100%.
be.
100%.
There's too much. You got too much to work with. So we keep giving Triple H these excuses, but in all honesty, you have Penta, Chad Gable, AJ Styles now. Shoot, why not Dominic Mysterio? You have a bunch
Exactly.
of guys right now who could be competing for that IC title, and nobody has even mentioned it at all.
I agree because a lot of times when I see now, Braun Breaker is probably the perfect candidate for that IC title now. He's proved it in NXT, he's proved it on the main roster before he had that title, and I think he deserves it. But who's he going to go up against? You have so many people in this company that could even fight for that want a taste of that. Ricky Starks just came into NXT. We saw him yesterday. He's
Yep.
hungry, right? If you have him on the main roster, I would not be mad if you had him face Braun or had him face Shinsuke or something, right? You want to book these matches to entertain people. That's the reason why that WWE is created. World Wrestling Entertainment. It's entertaining for people. If you're not going to make it as entertaining for people, then why not? Then why just even create those titles if you're not going to put them up for use?
Yeah,
You
like
know?
again, mid card titles. Yeah, like mid card titles are for if you're going to have this facade. Again, like I'm saying, if you're going to have this facade that these world titles are only meant to be defended on PLEs, well then my goodness, why do we not have the mid card titles being defended at least every 2 weeks? Why are we
Exactly.
not seeing title matches for the tag team belts every 2 weeks? If these guys who are in the mid card are going to be your workhorses, like you say they are, then have them work. There should be no reason why Shinsuke is off screen. If Shinsuke's best quality is his in ring work, then why is he not showing his in ring work? If Braun Breaker is the attraction that we say he is, then why in the world are his segments filled with just stare downs and pointless promos to Adam Pearce? The same thing that we've been getting. Hey, Adam Pearce, we need to talk. Let's talk in the back room because I don't have anybody to fight. Let's talk, Adam Pearce. Let's talk. No. At some
Exactly.
points, take action. I want to see him spear AJ Styles next week against Dom. I want to see him show that he wants the match, cause mayhem, cause havoc. Have these guys in the mid card do something, especially to the road to WrestleMania. I don't want to hear, oh, the road to WrestleMania, they're focused on the world titles. I don't want to hear that because there's too much star power, quote unquote, that you have in the mid card division to have Braun Breaker do absolutely nothing, to have Shinsuke Nakamura basically win the PTO belt, which is the U.S. title.
Yep. Exactly. Because think about it. With Braun Breaker and that title now, the mid card titles were created for people who are hungry or people who WWE, specifically Vince, during that time wants to see up and coming. He wants to put that title on them to see how they do, how they feel with the title on their back or around their waist. He wants to see how they do when they're on that main roster and they're putting in work for that title. That's what it was meant for. That or people who weren't as big enough for those main titles that you see, like the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship, and you put that mid card title on them to see how they feel, see if they deserve to be in that top title reign, right? But right now, we're not seeing
Yep.
any of that. Just like you said, it's the PTO title. Right now, we haven't been seeing any matches for it. You know, I want to see a Raw or SmackDown where the IC title or the US title is put up for grabs. I want to see young talent like how we have in NXT, even in the women's division. Lyra Valkyria, that's someone who's pretty great to put on the IC title, but I want her to face someone that deserves it just as much as she does. You know?
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
there's a lot of NXT talent out there right now that are about to make it to their main roster, who have been there for probably 2 3 years, who deserve a chance. I think you should put them for the IC title or the US title. It makes
Yeah,
sense. But to do that, you need to put that title up in those Raw or SmackDown, even NXT those pay-per-views. You have to put them in those matches just to see how they would do. You can't just expect someone to be a good champion and not do anything, and then wait until probably a house event or even Saturday night main event to put
yeah,
that title up for grabs.
bro. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Saturday Night Main Event should be literally all titles on the line. It should be a U.S. title match, an IC title match, a tag team match, and maybe one of the world championships.
Exactly, or even bring back Night of Champions. To be honest, Night of Champions was
You're
great to
breaking
have
up a
for
little bit. You're
over.
breaking up.
My bad.
Go ahead, go
Night of
ahead. I hear you. I hear
Champions
you.
is a great PLE to put on for the main roster. It might be a PLE, but at least you see every single champion go head
Well,
to
yeah,
head with
that's what I'm
someone.
saying. Like, if Saturday Night Main Event is going to be this grand spectacle, then what better way to do it than just have it be Night of Champions too?
Exactly. I agree. I agree 100%. They need to put these titles up so that we can see how deserving people are for them. Even if they're not deserving, we need to see how this title will be, impactful for the next group of superstars or the next generation to come up. You don't want it just to be a PTO belt. You don't want it to be just a belt to be put on TV just to get draws. I want to see a match for that belt. I don't want to see it at WrestleMania. I want to see it at Friday Night SmackDown this weekend. You
Yeah,
know,
and to be fair, this very part time ish schedule has came with the success of Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns is in a category of his own. I think it's very hard to treat these guys like Roman when they're not Roman.
hmm
So speaking of Roman, that leads us to our next point. Where does Roman Reigns rank all time? And very specifically, do you think? Because we were having this talk earlier,
hmm
not me and you, but me and a few other people.
yep.
Do you think that Roman Reigns has surpassed Randy Orton all time?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
And my reason being is obviously Roman's a workhorse. He's been working at this for 10 plus years. I think he deserves to be top 10 all time, no doubt. But to
Mm.
be above Randy, who has put in a long, long time, he has more
20
longevity.
plus years.
Yeah, 20 plus years. And that's hard to come by in entertainment or even sports. Like, for instance,
Yeah.
LeBron James has been doing this for over 20 years. He's 40 now, and he's still putting up good numbers. It's hard to do
Great
that.
numbers. Yeah.
Exactly. So for Randy, he's one of the best of the best. He's if anything, I put him
Ranking up a little
as
bit.
a
You said Randy's one of the best of the best.
he's the best of the best. I
There we
put
go.
him up towards like almost like a John Cena aspect. You know, he's I believe a
Hmm.
14-time champion.
I
And
believe
he's
so too.
proved it. He's proved it. He's been a great heel, even sometimes a great face, but mostly as a heel, that's what everyone knows him for. You know, Roman as a heel compared to Randy as a heel, Randy's a better heel. Of course, I love Roman.
Really,
Yeah,
really.
I love Roman as a heel. I love it. It's the best thing we could ask for. But Randy as a heel, '09 Randy, shaved head, punting everybody in sight. You know,
Very, very vicious. So, this is the one part where I do disagree. I think that Roman Reigns, not by a lot, not by a lot.
yep.
I think Roman Reigns' peak is better than Randy's longevity. I know that might sound crazy,
hmm
but I don't think we saw Randy Orton do what Roman Reigns did. I
I
don't
can agree.
know.
Yep.
There was never, and this is not a knock. This is not a knock against Randy at all, because he was for a lot of that time he was number two to Cena. But Roman Reigns has been the number one guy for the past 5 years,
hmm
and he's led WWE into its booming period that we're seeing now.
Yep.
Randy Orton, despite having the longevity that he's had, has not even come close to the peak that Roman Reigns has had. In 4 years, we can genuinely compare that to the 20 years that Randy Orton's done. You can debatably say that Roman Reigns has impacted the WWE more than Randy Orton. I know that's a stretch because Randy has some iconic moments,
hmm
but I genuinely think that if you remove these past 4 years of Roman's reign and you remove like 10 years of Randy Orton's 20-year tenure, I think we feel those 4 years a lot more than those 10.
I don't disagree with that. I understand what it is that you're saying. I completely
Yeah,
agree that his peak is better than his longevity because no one has seen a wrestler as dominant as Roman for the past 20, even 30 years. As
yeah.
dominant.
I think you can argue '06 to I want to say '08 Cena. You could
hmm
argue '96 to '90 to '03 Austin,
Yep.
but I just don't know if we've seen anything from Randy Orton on this level.
I'd say, to be honest, that '08 towards even towards like not even 2010, 08, 09, 07, 09, Randy,
I know
which
what
we've
you, I know what
seen.
you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Oh
Yeah,
07, really oh 07 to 010. Oh 07 to 10. Yeah, oh 07 to
yeah.
10.
So he's had probably the most amount of feuds with John Cena in that era, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitely. Yeah.
We've seen great matches. I Quit match. We've seen I think a steel cage
They
match.
they got
Um,
sloppier the longer because
yeah,
like it's only so many. If you, when you have Cena versus Orton an X amount of time, there's only so much you could do. I think Vince really did it too much.
I think he just milked it too much. I think he should have left it at 2014 when it was Authority Orton against, or 2013 when it was Cena against Orton for the double
They should have
championship.
only had 3 matches. Yeah,
Yeah,
like it should
I
have
think
been
I
the
think it should have just.
SummerSlam match in '07.
Hmm.
You give it a break. You give it a break.
Yep,
You have the I Quit match in
yep,
08, I believe, '08 or '09, I believe.
somewhere around
Give
there.
it a
Yeah,
break. Give it a break. Then you have the Royal Rumble match in 2014 because the Hell in a Cell match it was pretty okay. The Hell in a Cell match was pretty okay in 2014 too. But like when you have it over and over and over again, it gets to a point. It gets to a
yeah.
point where
It's almost like a WWE game where, oh, I'm gonna choose John Cena. Okay, I'm gonna choose Randy Orton. It's just
yeah, like it's like Vince McMahon ironically playing with his two favorite toys.
pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much the best way you could say it. But with Randy, his run during that era when he was facing Cena those times, I personally think that's his peak. That's his prime. That's prime Randy. That's probably the best Randy we've seen, aside from Authority Randy, which was pretty good. He had a
Yeah,
couple titles,
I like
and
Authority Randy. I like
you know,
Authority Randy.
I think Authority Randy really elevated his heel like skills, mostly from that vicious
I
Viper back then.
agree. I think it showed that he could be a tweener. He could get the crowd on his side because a lot of that crowd did not like Seth Rollins.
Yep.
But I also think, I also think that Randy Orton showed tremendous heel work in that he showed really good character work. I think is what I'm trying to get at. His character work during that is so good.
100%.
But speaking of Roman, where Roman ranks all time, I think personally, I know we have great characters like Mark Calloway's Undertaker. I
Yep.
know we can talk about the greatness of '09 Randy Orton, but I genuinely think that the tribal chief Roman Reigns is the greatest character I've ever seen in wrestling.
I agree with that. I completely agree with that. We haven't seen anyone
I,
like this.
I, I'm fine. I'm fine if you disagree, but like I think that like top to bottom, I don't think I've seen a character played and portrayed this well, where I genuinely believe that Roman Reigns is the head of the table.
Hmm. Completely. In that 2020, after he beat Brock at WrestleMania 38, I thought with every fiber of my being that no one was going to beat Roman for probably another 3 or 4 more years. I thought he was going to beat Bruno
Yeah.
Sammartino's record, his reign. I thought he was going to beat it. We haven't seen anyone this dominant since Suplex City Brock, and that was a long time ago. You know, I've Roman right now of what he's been doing, how much numbers he's been putting up for this company, how he basically carried this company for 5+ years nonstop. Even when he wasn't champion after he lost to Cody, he still was putting up
Yeah.
numbers when he returned. I'm not gonna
So
let
so where
anyone
where
forget
do
that.
you have Roman Reigns though? I got him number 8. I got Roman number 8 all the time.
I do. I would put him. I would put him number 8 between 8 and 10. It's interchangeable, but the highest I would put him is
Yeah,
8.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
I just put.
The
I
highest,
would
yeah, the highest
just
I would put him is 8. The highest I would put him is 8.
exactly. I would just put Randy one above that, not two above that, not three, just one. Roman can
All
easily
right, yeah.
get past that.
Randy's one behind. Randy's
Yeah,
one behind.
for you know, but I would
I
I
got you. I
would put
got
Randy in front of him only for the sole
you.
reason of
Longevity. Yeah,
longevity.
I'm
Yes,
not mad at it.
Roman's peak definitely the best peak of all time. If I'm being honest, probably the best
Wow,
peak. You
wow.
know, the numbers he put up for the company, how he brought everyone back out of that quarantine era into WWE and what it is now. We're seeing everybody watch it now. You know, and I still put Randy above. Look, it's not even that far off when I'm saying this, right?
Yeah,
Roman
it's not. It's
easily.
very close. I
To
think
be honest, Roman is even a United States Championship away from getting past Randy. If I'm being honest.
like I think that I understand that, especially our generation. I think is very nostalgia based.
Hmm.
But if we're just keeping it a buck, Randy versus Roman is a very close debate. And
It is.
I know I think that Roman has surpassed Randy. I know you got Randy a little bit above Roman,
Hmm.
but I think it's a very close debate. I think you can argue a good case for both. I think it's a very good peak versus longevity argument. One of the best you'll
Yep,
ever see.
exactly. I completely agree. Because Randy, obviously, he has a very special place in my heart. I love Randy. He's done
Oh,
so
of
much,
course. I mean,
you know.
dude, he gave my guy one of his best routes. So, okay, that's another question before we move on to the next topic.
Yep.
Who do you think? Oh, actually, this leads right into the next topic. who, who do you think is Cena's best rival?
I think, to be honest, I don't even say it's Randy. I think it's Punk. I think
Wow.
I think it's Punk. The promos they had, they might have not had as many matches as Cena did with Randy,
Of
but I
course.
I can tell you the promo work, all of the feuds, all the storylines behind them,
How serious it felt.
exactly. It felt amazing. This is, mind you, Punk blew a kiss to Vince McMahon while he was feuding with Cena when he won that chip, left out of Chicago. That was probably one of the best moments I've seen during that time. I was probably like 9 or 8 during that time, to be honest. Watching that, I'm like, wow, this is honestly crazy or something.
Yeah.
And the feuds that he had with Cena, none of them, if I'm being honest, none of them were bad. Even when AJ Lee was, I guess, deciding
Oh,
between two boyfriends during that era, little the
there
restart the
was
match.
literally no. There's nothing between CM Punk or Cena that was bad. Personally, I think Cena's best feud isn't with Orton either. I think it's with Edge.
That's another argument. I put that two. Number one is Punk, two Edge. I would put Orton three. I think Edge, he was probably one of the, if not the greatest heel of all time. One of the best heels I've seen.
I think he was. I think as much we give Randy Orton credit for being a villain to John,
Yep,
I think Edge was the perfect embodiment of a John Cena villain. I think you cannot get more John Cena versus a bad guy than Edge.
I agree. I agree.
I think Edge. I like getting a little goosebumps thinking about it right now. I think Edge is genuinely John's best rivalry. Like
The
I know,
Yeah, the
obviously,
matches were very iconic between the two. You never
very
had a
they
bad
didn't play
match.
off a bad match.
Yeah,
It
you
was never
never
a
had a
bad
bad
match between
match.
them.
Never.
And like obviously, I think ours just switched a little bit. I got Punk two, I got Edge one,
Hmm.
but like I think the rivalry with Edge, it was genuinely this sadistic, evil guy who wanted to do anything for himself. Snively Hill, who cheated to
Hmm.
win the rated R superstar, versus the never give up military salute. I'm going to come out here and I'm going to whoop everybody and beat everybody up, John Cena.
Yep.
I think that Edge, ironically, not even ironically, I think Edge is, I dare to say, a much better foe to Cena than Randy was.
Hmm. I agree. But the only reason why I put Punk up with Cena,
I'm not mad at it.
like, the promo work between the two, Cena is,
Yeah, it was great. It
yeah,
was
he
great.
he is a top promo worker, and so is Punk. You cannot deny that. And
Yeah.
having those two in the same ring together, opposite, mano y mano, heel versus babyface, you can't get any better than that with the promo
And
work.
if I could be keep it a buck about CM Punk, it didn't even feel like heel versus babyface. It felt like the company guy who the kids loved versus the rebellion guy who the older guys
Yeah,
loved.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I could agree with that. It was because that
And
promo,
Vince was the real heel. Vince was the
Vince
real heel
Vince
during that thing.
definitely was the real heel. It was almost like as if John Cena was the heel in a way. It's like Vince is playing him as his pawn, like
Yeah,
towards
Vince is
Punk.
using John to use it, and at the end of the Money in the Bank match, John realizes it. He stops Vince, and it ends up being John realizing he was a pawn was what defeated him. I actually like that aspect. I
Yeah.
think maybe I know obviously I might be reading a little bit too deep into it, but I love the fact that John stops Vince from cheating for him, and John kind of breaking out of the fact that hold on, you using me here is what causes him to lose the match. Because if John stays focused, he wins the match. But he breaks out of this fact that Vince McMahon is using him, goes there, confronts Vince McMahon, goes back into the ring, CM Punk hits him a GTS, it's over.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially on
I
that
like that.
topic. What you're talking about relates to the promo that those two had, where Punk calls Cena the New York Yankees. Like, you become what you hated most. You're the New
Yeah.
York Yankees. That ties so much
Yes.
because it puts so much, I guess, so much like propaganda in his head where it's like, like, am I really cheating to win? Like, am I what Edge was when I faced him? Like, am I really cheating to win?
Like I'm not the underdog anymore.
Yeah, it's like, am I really the underdog, or am I just like, the number one new toy for
I'm the
Vince?
dynasty,
Yeah,
and I think that's what Cena was playing as the whole like Cena's always been played as the underdog, but we all know Cena was an underdog,
yeah,
and I think it also ties into the promo the punk card where he was like, "See, I don't even like you. It's not that I don't like you, but I'm actually fond of you. Like it's not that I don't like you. It's just I think I'm better than you.
hmm
It's no disrespect. I like you. You're cool. You know what I'm saying? It's him I don't like, but I just think I'm better than you." Which I like that. I like the fact that it's like these guys don't hate each other. These guys just think that it's just an I'm better than you thing,
hmm
which
like,
is fine. And I think that's missing from today a lot, where it's like, which I like that the most about Punk and Cody, that it was a it wasn't a oh my gosh Cody you can't believe you hurt my feelings because you teamed up with this guy and Cody I just wish we just like sat on a picnic together and kissed and we made out and we had a
100%,
picnic and we hugged.
100%.
No, no,
Yeah.
like this is two guys saying, look, Cody, I respect what you've done. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to see that I left and I did what I did. You come back, you do what you do, but bro, I'm better than you. I'm the best in the world.
hmm
I'm gonna see you at
He
Royal
came
Rumble.
he
And
came in, barreling like, you know, barreling towards WrestleMania. He came into the company when he returned
cutting out,
the
you cutting
night
out, cutting out,
after.
cutting out. You say he's came
Oh,
in
sorry.
bearing towards what?
He came in
Yeah.
barreling towards WrestleMania. He came back from War Games. His return, massive pop,
Okay.
probably one of the best pops of all time. Came in. He had two things. He said,
We're talking
one,
about Punk.
yeah, Punk.
Yep.
He said, one, I came here to make money, and two, I came here to main event WrestleMania. That's it. Super blunt. That's it. Straight to the point. Standing on business, on 10
That's
toes.
all. That's all we needed. That's all we
Exactly.
needed.
When he came in the face with Cody, he said it to him again. He said, I came to main event WrestleMania. He said, whether I face you or if I face the other champion, whether, like during that time, I think it was Seth. He said, whether I face you or Seth,
Yep.
or if I face you and Gunther during WrestleMania 41, that road to WrestleMania. It doesn't matter. He said, I'm going to
Yep.
beat you. He said, I came back here to make money and main event WrestleMania, and that's
I ain't
exactly
come
what I'm
here to
going to
make.
do.
I ain't come here to make friends.
Exactly. And when he had that promo, I'm pretty sure with Vince, he said, oh no, not with Vince. He with Rollins. He said I didn't hate WWE. He said I hated the man that was behind it, or whatever it was. He said that promo that spoke to a lot of people
Yeah.
that watched Punk back then, because you can tell that whole rebellion, that whole revolution he had when he joined the Nexus. I'm pretty sure it wasn't even as a heel. It was another revolution towards what he was saying, if I'm being honest, right? And when he had that whole
Yeah.
feud with Cena, talking about how Vince is the grand master of this, you're just his pawn, you're the New York Yankees. That's exactly what he's talking about. When he came back in, now he has this sort of freedom where he can do what he was supposed to do
Yeah.
10 plus years ago, and he can fulfill it. He didn't make it at WrestleMania, but he probably will now. And he doesn't care who's in his way. It's just a matter of when he's going to win that title, you know. So it puts a lot of perspective on him, just because he's still the same CM Punk that we've seen 10 years ago. He's still that same, I'm the best in the world, there's nothing you can do about it. No matter who's in my way, I'll kick anybody's ass, no matter who is in my way. I don't care, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it. It's so genuine. It's not, you know, I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. I'm going to take that title. I'm going to do it for all these fans. I'm going to do it for everybody here that loved me
Hold
or
on. Hold
pushed
on.
me
Hold on.
through.
Hold on. You said you lied a little bit.
My fault. He said
You lied a little bit. You said you're here for. He's here for what?
he said he's here to go to WrestleMania, win that title. He's not here to,
Yeah.
like, just to go and say, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna do it in front of all these people, or I'm gonna win for my family or something. It's straight to the point, genuine. That's what I
Yep.
like about promo work. It doesn't have to be like a sob story. It doesn't have to be. It could just be
Yes.
straight to
Yes.
the point. It could be that's what wrestling's about. It's I'm gonna beat your ass, or you're gonna be mine. That's straight to the point.
Yeah.
A promo
I
could
don't
be a
mind
sob story.
those. Yeah, I don't mind those little the really good, well built feuds when it comes to using the emotion or whatnot.
hmm
But what I do like is something that's very straightforward, straight to the point. Just how Cena was right after the Royal Rumble when he cut his promo declaring for the Elimination
Exactly.
Chamber.
100%.
So when he goes out there and he says, "Hey, I'm going to declare myself for the Elimination Chamber because I've earned it." It was something from him that we've never seen before, which leads us to
Exactly.
our next point. When does John win his 17th? And I know we had a talk before this specific recording started for this podcast. We
Yep.
said that we wanted him to see him win it at SummerSlam.
hmm
But how do we get there?
How do we get there? Okay. So we obviously need to start off with John losing the chamber. That's priority number one.
Yeah,
I see John getting pinned by Punk to get him getting eliminated,
not
possibly
mad at it.
starting a feud in the near future. You go to WrestleMania. He said before the road to WrestleMania started, before Royal Rumble, he said that WrestleMania will be his last. He will be in that WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure because he's been eliminated in that elimination chamber, he won't main
Yep.
event. He won't have a title opportunity. He will
Hmm.
face someone. It's a matter of who, but whoever he faces, he will lose to that person,
Yep.
right? Then we spring on to, let's say, Backlash. I don't think he participates in Backlash. Money in the Bank. Maybe he even goes to the Money in the Bank match, loses that. Who knows?
I don't
Uh,
want him to see. I don't see him in that.
you could
I
have
think.
him. Oh,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
you could have him in a Raw or SmackDown. You could have him. If anything, I want him
Yeah.
to win at least a match, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, or PLE. But it doesn't have to be an important match to where it's like it's for a title. Maybe
Hold on. You're
something to
breaking up.
prove.
You said important match.
An important match. I don't want
Hmm.
it to be for a title or anything like that. I want it to be a match
Yeah.
where Cena's like, I still got it. I am still John Cena, whether you like it or not. I am going to beat
Yeah.
this person here, and if I do, this proves I am not,
I'm
I
not
don't still,
washed.
yeah, I'm
I
not washed.
that's literally all he's trying to prove is like, hey, I'm not washed up. And I think you're on the right track with having him when he hasn't. If he loses the elimination chamber, he needs to reframe his mindset and story into the storyline to, hey, uh, I'm going to go after a win, not a title, not anything that in terms of an accolade. I just want to win. That's
hmm
it. I need to prove to myself that I can still get a 1, 2, 3 pinfall against somebody. That needs to be his goal. So I think this is a perfect way. I think this is how you get the the, the stuff that the fans want. I think the perfect way to set up if Randy were to come back last second before Mania, which I do think Randy will still be a part of this Mania. I'm
hmm
completely fine with John Cena going against Randy Orton at WrestleMania just to see if these two guys still have it.
Yep.
Do I still have it? That it's a match to prove. Hey, Randy Orton, you're coming back from injury. How do you feel? How are you? Cena, you're coming back off the cusp of 7 years of not winning. Let's see if you still got it.
Yep.
So I think this is great for both of those guys. Randy said Cena versus him is his dream match. I wouldn't mind seeing him going after the IC title. He gets a win. He might stack up a few. He feels like, you know what? I need to prove myself from the ground up. Let me win the IC belt. Obviously, this wouldn't be his final stop. The final stop is 17. But him winning the IC belt in between, it leads him to accomplish something that he's never accomplished before. It knocks an accolade off of his career in terms of being Grand Slam and actually win the IC belt. And now he has proved to himself, okay, not only have I won matches, I can win gold. So
Yep.
what's the next level from here? Entering into that King of the Ring tournament. I think you have seen him win the King of the Ring. You have him face CM Punk, who beats Cody Rhodes. At SummerSlam Night 2, we get Cena versus. So we go from having Cena versus Orton at WrestleMania to Cena versus Punk at SummerSlam.
Yep.
We have Cena versus Punk SummerSlam uh, for the title. I think Cena wins there. I think he will constantly wrestle the PLEs that he shows up to.
Yep.
He wrestles for the WWE title and the week to week that he shows up, he wrestles for the IC title.
Mm.
I
Okay.
feel like the uh, near the end, you have him lose like maybe November-ish. You have him lose the IC belt. December, obviously, he loses the WWE Championship.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, that's not even arguable. I think that's pretty standard for Cena's reign or his last year. Um,
You're breaking up a little bit. You said that's standard for Cena's reign.
yeah, for his reign or
Okay,
in his last year in the WWE. So I want to give a
yeah,
take. Do you think that
talk
Cena
to me.
should face? I think he should face Braun Breaker, not at WrestleMania. I think he should face Orton if he was to return in that certain time and lose. Or no, I think he should win against Orton at WrestleMania. I think
He
he
can win
should.
against Orton.
Yeah, I think he should go after Braun to where uh I think he faces Braun not for the title, but Braun challenges him is like calls him an old man. Let's say this turns into a heel Braun. We're not really seeing heel Braun. It's more like tweener kind of babyface, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like we should get a heel Braun Breaker, call out Cena, tell him he's old, tell him he doesn't have it anymore, he should retire. He's like, if you think you're that good, you should face me because he's having this problem with Adam Pearce saying he wants an opponent. Let's say he gets his opponent,
Yes,
you
yes.
know.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm
I
glad you
think
brought that up.
I think let's say Breaker is a fresh off of a win at WrestleMania. He faced Penta or someone at
Yes,
WrestleMania, still kept
yes,
his title.
yes, yes.
Then he's like, I want more. He's like, this just beating him isn't enough for me.
Oh, you
This is
breaking
when we
up? You breaking
see
up? He said he beats Penta fresh off the. He's fresh off beating Penta.
yeah, fresh off beating Penta or whoever it is he faces, and we start to feel that heel mantra of his. Where like he's like, I need more. This guy isn't worth my time. I beat him. I smoked him at WrestleMania. I have the best spear in the business, and I'm gonna use it on someone that
Yep,
actually deserves the spear. He's like, I want to like, let's say John Cena comes out. He starts talking to Cena, saying, "You're old. You're washed. I can beat you easily. Like you're not the Cena that we saw before, and I know that, and
yep,
that's what I'm gonna do to you." He faces Cena, beats him. Let's say he beats him that night. No, no, Cena beats him that same night at the main event of Raw or SmackDown.
yep,
Then Breaker's pissed. He wants revenge. He wants to get that win back because he just lost to a washed John Cena, who everyone said that he hasn't won a match in over 2,000 days, 1,000 days, and he wants that revenge back. He's like, there's no way I lost to someone like this, who's old, who's frail, shouldn't even be wrestling anymore. We have another match, maybe at Money in the Bank or another PLE along down the
you're
way.
breaking up. Olden Frail. Okay, there we go. I hear you. I hear you.
So we have him at Money in the Bank or another PLE. Cena loses that. Then you have another build up to where Cena says, I can beat this guy. I beat him first before, and I lost to him for the title. I know I
Yep,
can beat him. You have a trilogy set up with Cena and Breaker. You have Cena beat him for the IC title. Boom. That's how he gets the title. Then you go on to King of the Ring. He wins that, gets the main event of SummerSlam to where he'll face Cody or
yep.
Gunther or I mean Punk. Sorry,
Well, I love this idea so
yeah,
much.
he'll face Punk, become I think if I'm not mistaken the first WWE champion as well as Intercontinental champion, holding both belts. If I'm not mistaken, but if
Is that the case?
I think I don't know if someone else has won it already, has been WWE champion while Intercontinental champion. I don't think so because I we had Seth Rollins as United States and WWE champion, but I don't recall anyone else with that. He could potentially lose the IC belt along the
Okay.
way. I'm not mad at that. But I do want him beating Punk at SummerSlam, to where he has beaten Braun Breaker. He's shown that against a great talent right now, as is today, for a mid card belt, Cena deserves a title shot, you know. And to get that, goes to the King of the Ring, wins it in very tough battles, by the way. Not even just like, he barely comes out alive in each of those battles. I think he should face Drew in
Yep.
one of those battles, to be honest, if Drew isn't a champion by then. I think he should face Drew or someone like, or even like Roman or someone else, you know?
I'm agreeing with everything you're saying, bro. I like all these ideas. I think the feud with Braun Breaker is a great idea. I think Drew going on it is a great idea. But I like all these ideas. I'm like writing stuff down. like, like, dude, I agree 100%. I think Braun Breaker would be a great like middle of the road feud after Mania. I feel like uh, you could have him have those matches with Drew in the middle. You could have him have like stuff to prove himself. I think, and that's why I go back to King of the Ring. I think after Mania, you have him. Maybe losing to Orton might be the way to go. I mean,
Yep,
yeah, I don't know.
I'm not mad
Uh,
at that.
it could go both ways, but either way, Cena wants to still continue to prove himself. And what better way to do it than Braun Breaker? I think at this point you have Braun Breaker have his feud with other people that we said earlier. He's beating the Chad Gables of the world. He's beating the Pences of the world. He's beating those people. He wants something bigger. He wants the biggest fish in the ocean, and that's John Cena. He goes out there. He spears John Cena, like you said. I think you have him have a little rivalry in between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. You have him have this feud with Braun Breaker. You could throw a Drew McIntyre in there when it gets ready for SummerSlam time when it talks about King of the Ring and whatnot. And
Yep.
so King of the Ring, You get your final. You have Braun Breaker build up on one bracket. You have Cena build up on one bracket. You have them continue matches with each other. You get to see your. You finally get to see your Cena versus maybe your Rollins again. You get to see Cena versus your Drew McIntyre. Maybe we
Yep.
get to see Cena versus Reigns, who's still
Yeah.
chasing that.
Exactly.
So again, you get to see a lot of the King of the Ring tournament is your time to have all those dream matches play out. The big guys in the roster that you want to see John Cena face, that is the perfect time to have John face them and win, and it makes sense. He can
Hmm.
actually go on that Super Cena run. So I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that.
Well, I got a follow-up question from
Talk to
everyone
me.
you just mentioned to face. Do you see another once in a lifetime match? Probably fourth, fourth, in
Oh,
once in a lifetime. Do you see The Rock facing John
The
Cena?
Rock versus Cena. I'm not mad. I'm not mad if it happens at Money in the Bank or something like that. I'm
Yep.
not mad. Survivor Series, something like that. I'm not mad if it happens at all. I wouldn't be mad at it.
Mm.
I wouldn't be mad at a finisher fest.
That's okay. That's okay. I agree with that. I think I want to see Cena versus Rock while Cena has the WWE Championship
Oh
because
yeah.
we heard Fatu talking to
Hey, you seen the
Jay.
way Fatu stared at Cena when he entered the Rumble? I had to
Oh, I've
rewatch
seen
it. I
that.
didn't see
I've
that.
seen that. I've seen that. Fatu when he came to that Rumble, he was on everybody. He wanted smoke with everyone, but there was a couple of people where he had his eyes set, where he stopped for a minute and was like, "Wait, this is
Yeah,
the
on
big
his way
fish.
out,
This is, yeah, I
yeah,
know
he
what you're
gets
talking about."
eliminated, and then he sees Cena run into the ring, and he just stares at him. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with seeing Cena versus Jacob in the
I
King of
could
the
see
Ring.
that. If we get Cena versus Jacob, we have to get Cena
We
versus Rock
hey,
after.
look, there might be a stare down with him at the chamber
Maybe, probably.
because Fatu was in the chamber qualifiers. So
Mm, I could definitely see that. So, if that's the case, I want to see. So, if we had Fatu cut a promo, I think to Jay, if I believe, no,
yep.
not to Jay. I think it was to Cody, saying
Uh-huh.
that his family wants his championship back.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the promo with Jay Cody in the ring,
Yeah,
where
that's what it was. That's what
He
it was.
tells Jay that he's not the one to bring the. Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So I feel like if Cena was to win his 17th time, which he will for sure this year, I see
Oh,
Jacob
you,
coming
you
out.
like it a little bit?
Oh, sorry. I see
Yep.
Jacob coming out. The Raw after SummerSlam or something, telling Cena he doesn't deserve that. He's too old to have that championship, and he says his family deserves that championship more than Cena does right now. Goes off on him, and we have great promo work from both of these two, right? And it could even key a main event match at Raw, Cena versus Jacob for the championship on that main event. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
mad at that.
Yeah.
And
I'm not mad at all.
Cena wins, obviously, because I don't want Jacob to win that championship that early, you know.
Yeah.
So
Not
Cena
not against.
wins,
He doesn't deserve it against. I'm just keeping it a buck. He doesn't deserve it against Cena.
and you could have The Rock return after Cena wins, go face to face with him, doesn't say a word, then rock bottom Cena when he turns around. After he turns around, turns back, rocks
Yep.
bottom Cena, leaves. Great cliffhanger. You cut to next Raw or SmackDown, whichever one they go to.
Yep.
I wouldn't be mad if it's Rock coming out by himself. I wouldn't be
Cutting out a
mad
little
if it's
bit for
Cena.
me.
Oh, I wouldn't be mad
You
if
said
it's
next Raw or SmackDown.
yeah, next Raw or SmackDown. I would not be mad if it's just Rock talking about what happened or just Cena talking about what happened. All I know is the opposite person is going to come down that ring and confront them, and there will be another match. Maybe at Survivor Series,
Yeah.
maybe at a Saturday night's main event, maybe there could be a Bad Blood pay per view. You never know. So
Okay.
I want to see
I
something
like
with
it.
it.
I like it. I like it. I like all those ideas. So, last question I want to ask before you get out of here is,
Yep.
who does Cena lose the 17th title to?
Ooh, that one is. To be honest, I don't see
Does he
him
even lose
losing.
it? Does he even lose it? You could just have him retire and just vacate it.
I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't. It would be very entertaining to see him lose to someone, but it would
Yeah, seeing
shatter
who's
my
next
heart.
up.
Yeah, it would
I
shatter my
think
heart. But
if no future talent is ready, the best option is somebody who's new. But I mean, somebody who's experienced and old. But I just don't know if there's any new talent that would be ready to retire Cena. I think that Cena's one of those people that you can have go out on his back, but you could also have going out standing on his 2 feet and vacating the title, coming
yeah,
out in a suit and tie and being, you know what, guys, this is the last time has passed. The last time is no longer now. The last time has happened, and your time is now. He goes off and he leaves the title in the middle of the ring. along with the jorts, the shirt, the wristbands, the cap, and the sneakers, and walks off in the suit that he says he's gonna wear, and goes ahead and calls it quits.
I agree. I think if it's a SmackDown or Raw or pay per view, whatever event it is, that's his last one, the last
Yeah,
final show of the year. I see every WWE superstar of the main roster out on that stage while Cena is in the middle of the ring with his championship. Talks about just like how it was for, I forgot who it was that was retiring before. Um, Undertaker, or when everyone was sitting around and he talked about
yeah,
different wrestlers in that era. It could be something like that, but I normally would see Cena in the middle of the ring during an event. All the superstars are out on the stage. He calls out Randy to tell
yeah.
him we had some great matches. Tells Punk we had great matches. I'm
A
glad
little
I beat.
farewell.
Yeah, a little farewell stuff like that. And he goes, and to every young superstar that's out on that stage right now, my time is up. Your time is now. Drops the championship flat on the ground, puts the wristbands next to it, the cap, even the shirt if he wanted to.
Yeah,
Lays it all down. That's it. That's the end of an era, a long era of John Cena. And then everyone claps for him. People, even the crowd chanting Cena, you know, and then he
yeah. It
becomes a
would
Hall
be
of Famer the
a
next year.
monumental moment.
Exactly.
Uh, I do think. Do you think he's gonna be put in this draft class or the next? Triple H said it's up to him.
Uh, I
I
don't think he
prefer
should
if
be.
it's the next
Yeah, I would
because I
prefer
don't
if
want
it's
him.
the
I don't
next.
want him doing it as a. No, I don't want him doing that. I don't want him
Yeah,
to complete his run as a.
I don't think he should be a Hall of Fame in this class because when they do it, they're gonna announce after WrestleMania. After WrestleMania, they always do the Hall of Famers come out at WrestleMania
Yeah,
show off. So I don't think it should be that. I think it should be next WrestleMania. Cena comes out pretty much one last time or something. Everyone's cheering and stuff. Oh, please welcome another Hall of Famer, John Cena. Everyone goes crazy at WrestleMania. I think it's way better they do it at the next one than this current one.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Uh, yeah. And plus, I think it'll be a lot more heartfelt. He'll actually have time to soak in. Like, yo, it's over. Yeah, I think it'll be a lot more heartfelt. Too, if he does it next year, because it'll be him actually done with wrestling, and he's actually being able to like soak in just about a year of no wrestling, or like maybe half a year of no wrestling,
Yep.
and him being able to like kind of like be like, wow, it's over.
Yeah. I think.
But
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining me, Jay. I appreciate you. Thank you all for joining in and watching us talk about the pinnacle of sports entertainment. Jay, anything that you want to say before we go up and head out of here?
Uh, just wanna give a little take. If Cena shaves his
I don't know if you
head,
broke up. Okay, there you go.
no, if Cena shaves his head this year, he's winning every single title that WWE has to offer.
The
Super
military
Cena will
cut.
be back. The military cut will be back.
Okay, the
You heard it
military
here.
cut. Good. I can't wait for a military cut Super Cena because as much as I love this shirt, this hairstyle that I'm looking at right here kind of annoys me. But
Yeah.
thank you, Jay. I appreciate you for joining up. I'll make sure I hit you up and go to editing this and hurry up and get it on YouTube as soon as possible. Thank you all so much for joining us here on the franchise NET. We will see y'all next time.